All right, we are recording. So thank you. First and foremost, thank you for taking the time on a Monday night at 8:30 to jump on and join us because we have some very important information to share with you guys. My name is Trish Muhlstein. I live in Orlando, Florida. I am a mother of four and a multiple business owner. Part of what I do is I coach people on their health and wellness in a holistic manner. I'm a certified holistic wellness and life coach and a health coach. I also have a background in personal training. I've worked with professional athletes for the past 15 years on their diet and nutrition. I talk to about 5 to 10 people a day and that are having major health issues, all the way from like 14-month-olds, I'm talking to their moms about failure to thrive, all the way to Super Bowl athletes. So I have the whole spectrum of health here. And so the information that we have to share with you tonight is so vitally important. And I feel the reason I share this is I feel I have a moral and ethical obligation that everyone needs to have the information that we have. Because what we have been able to see, and I'm going to ask Darlene and Laurie to speak in just a second on their background and why they share this, we have been able to change so many people's lives with what we have in our hands right now. So what I'm going to ask Darlene to jump on here. Darlene, can you give us a background? Dr. Darlene Mayo is a neurosurgeon. So let her take over and give us your background and why you share this information, Darlene.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Trish. I really appreciate you inviting me on tonight to share this. I'm as passionate as you are about this. So as Trish said, I'm a neurosurgeon and I'm a neuroscientist. I have been studying the brain now for 18 years. For 10 of those years, I was in the operating room helping patients. And now a lot of what I do is I help people maximize their brain capacity using holistic treatments. And one of those is something that you are going to hear about tonight. And as I began to research this, I've been doing research from the time I was at Duke and Emory and Mayo Clinic. So I've been a little bit all over, trained at some great places and worked at some wonderful places. Spent the last 5 years at the Cleveland Clinic doing some research. So some of the things that I found is that the way the brain actually functions best is when it is supported well nutritionally. So that is one of the reasons why I am so passionate about what we are going to share with you tonight.
Awesome. Thank you, Darlene. And Laurie, can you jump on and introduce yourself and tell them your experience? Because Darlene, you're just a wealth of knowledge and experience. And we're so fortunate to have you as part of our team. So Laurie, can you jump on real quick?
Sure, thanks. My name is Laurie Spilker, and I'm a physician assistant. I've been practicing medicine for about 25 years, actually 26 now. And here in Jacksonville, Florida, I have 2 kids and a wonderful husband, and they are 14 and 15 now. But I practiced internal medicine for 18 years, and in that time frame, because it was such a long duration, I started to see people developing disease processes at a younger age. And that's a problem in our country. You expect someone over 50 to have hypertension and start to get cholesterol issues and diabetes. But when you see it when they're 20, it's a problem. And, getting good nutrition in your body is great, and that can help with the prevention aspect of it. For the last 7 years, I've been in pain management, so I see a different side. It's a little more specialized, but you still have inflammation, which is the source of all the pain that we have with arthritis, the different arthritises. And if you could show people a system of cleanse, balance, build, they might not have to come to pain management and ask for narcotic pain medicine. So I'm really passionate about this as well, just because I've seen people come off pain medicine, and I've seen people come off their hypertension medicine and their cholesterol medicines with this system. And I know we're not supposed to make claims, but putting the right stuff in your body is very beneficial for disease prevention. And like Trish says, everybody needs to know about this. So I appreciate you listening to me, and thanks, Trish, so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Laurie. And like Laurie said, we are not making any claims, okay? We are just sharing with you what we do in our family and our families, and what we have been able to coach other people through, and what we've actually seen with our own eyes, you know? So I'm going to share my screen right now, and we are going to show you exactly what we are talking about. So a couple years, I think, Laurie, I think it's been 4 years, right? 4 years. Darlene, it's been over a year?
Not quite, just under that. Yeah.
Okay, under a year. So myself, I learned about this company 5 years ago. Let me turn. So the name of the company is Pure. It stands for People United Reaching Everyone. And I don't know if you guys know who this is, but this is Phil Knight. He is the founder of the largest shoe company there is. He is also the 27th wealthiest man in the world. And the company Pure started 10 years ago. But 2 years ago, this man came and approached us because he saw something. I wonder what he saw, okay? And he saw something in this company that we were having such amazing results. The stories, the lives were changing, were phenomenal. And he wanted to be a part of our company. So he became one of our owners in the company and investors in the company. And so in the year 2020, he plans to take this company public like he did the largest shoe company. So there's some big credibility behind this company called Pure. So how did it all get started? It got started in a clinic in California. The clinic was there for 30 years. So for 30 years, this clinic in California would teach people how to take care of their body through putting the right foods in their body, plant-based foods. And after 30 years of having this clinic, there was a 3-year wait list just to get into this clinic to see it. So they decided, you know what? We've got to take this. We've got to take this outside. We've got to reach more people. We're having such great success. And the only way that you hear about this is through word of mouth referral. Okay. So that's why we invite people to listen to this and have these presentations all through word of mouth. Now, all we are showing you guys is an online membership club. It's just like Amazon Prime, right? I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't shop at the stores anymore. It's kind of a waste of my time to go fight over a parking spot, stand in line. I much rather would go on Amazon, look and see what I want, and get it delivered right to my house. This is the same thing. All you're doing, and I know it's very confusing because I talk to people all day long. They're like, well, but I don't know what kind of this to take, or calcium or vitamin. I don't know what to do. And what we have is a one-stop shop, and it is the purest of the pure and the best of the best. And all you do is order it offline, off your phone, off your app, and guess what? It gets delivered right to your doorstep. It's so simple and it's so easy. And that's what we're sharing with you as an online membership club. Now, what makes us different? What makes Pure different? I get this question all the time. And if you know anything about nutrition, all I need to do is point you towards the labels. And if you read the labels, you'll be able to see exactly what the difference is. And if you don't know about nutrition, what makes us different, Pure different, is that it is for your whole entire family, not just the mom or the dad that works out at CrossFit. This is for the whole entire family, the children, the grandparents, your aunts and uncles. And it's the coolest system that you can put it in your house, and you can, if someone just came on and is not on mute, your lines. Hold on just a second. There we go. Perfect. So it's for the whole entire family. So this system enables you to manage your health. And when we go over the products, and I'll probably have Darlene, probably have you expand on this a little bit, But you can use this system to completely manage your health. So say you eat something bad and you come home with a tummy ache. Boy, we know what to do. You get up in the morning and you've got a headache. Boy, you know what to do. You get, start getting that allergy and the mucus and the sneezy and the runny nose. We know what to do. And it's all through food, and it's consumable. And the reason that we're apart from everything, and what makes us so different, is the quality of the formulations and the quality of the raw materials that go into the products are bar none. There's no comparison out there, because believe me, I have been brought every single thing to me to compare it with, and I have compared every single label out there, and there's nothing that compares to us. It is not one hit wonder. It's not one product, one pill, one thing that you can do. This is a system that is around an age-old philosophy of cleansing the toxins, balancing your pH and your hormones, and putting good plant-based nutrition back into your body. And that is a philosophy that, when you follow that philosophy, all the systems of your body get back into alignment and where they're supposed to be. And like Laurie mentioned, a huge part of disease is inflammation. And if you can get that inflammation under control and you can get it down, everything can start working again together. I'm going to go over some of my favorite products, and then I'm going to ask Laurie and Darlene to come on and talk about their favorite products. I want to talk about one thing that people always need to know about, which is organic sulfur. And that is my very favorite product, one that I cannot live without. Sulfur went out of our food chain in the 1940s. It's a mineral that our body needs for so many different chemical reactions in your body. One being to push oxygen in and out of our cells. So if we're deficient in sulfur, our cells are not getting the oxygen that they need to get on a daily basis. That's a big problem. So organic sulfur, for me, is one of my favorite products that we have that needs to be taken on a daily basis. Darlene, go ahead. What's your favorite?
So I have many, but one of my favorite products is actually Goyen, which is combined of a lot of superfruit juices, which is fantastic. And one of the things that I love about it, the ingredients are incredible, and there are a lot of them that help to support the function of the neurological system. And one of my favorite areas of that is to help increase your neurotransmitters in your brain, right? So your happiness neurochemicals, which we all need more of. So there's a lot of those that help to support dopamine and serotonin, which are things that are low a lot of times in patients that are depressed or have anxiety. So I think that is a wonderful product from that standpoint. And I just want to piggyback a little bit on what you said, that this really is a system. You know, as a physician, I a lot of times would prescribe a medication for a patient. And the problem is with that, whereas that can treat one particular thing, if their whole health is not supported, then that medicine is actually very limited in what it can do. So what I love about the Pure system is that it really tailors to supporting the function of the entire body and all of the organ systems there. And I think when you start from that standpoint, and then you realize a particular nutritional need that you may be lacking, that you can really see a significant impact and improvement.
Awesome. Thank you, Darlene. If you guys, whoever jumped on a little late, if you don't have your line muted, if you don't mind muting your line, we're picking up the background noise, then make sure all your lines are muted. Thank you. Awesome. All right, Laurie, if you can jump on and share your favorite product.
Well, I like a lot of them. I like a lot of them is because they've helped me so much. I had herniated disc in my neck, and as a PA, I knew in pain management, I knew what to do and what to take, and none of that was effective for me. So when I started on the system of the cleanse, balance, and build, I started on the sulfur, Mila, and mangosteen, and it really improved my pain and my quality of life, and could stop the prescription medicines of the NSAIDs and the prednisone and things like that I didn't really want to put in my body because of the side effects. But I would have to say Mila is probably my favorite. It's a high omega-3 chia seed, and we don't get that in our bodies, and we need that. It helps with brain function. It helps with GI issues. It helps with pain. It helps with cholesterol. It helps with blood flow. I mean, it's just an all-around good food. It's a whole raw food. So that's probably my favorite. I do like the fact that some of these products are in the PDR, which Darlene and I write prescriptions out of. It's our doctor manual to write prescriptions out of. So that's a huge plus, and another way of promoting our products is desk reference. But Mila is my favorite. I use them all, so it's hard to pick just one, Trish.
I know. I mean, I think, as you can see on that screen, I probably take all of those products on a daily basis. So it's hard to pick one out of all of them. But yes, and I'm glad you touched, Laurie, on the PDR. As medical providers, that's what I want you to ask, because I get this question a lot from people. They'll see the presentation and they'll say, well, I've got to do my research, right? So as medical providers, what research did you guys have to do, or what advice would you give someone that says, I have to do my research? You know, because I'm sure that you guys researched this up and down like I did, like crazy, right? So when I have a lay person who's not in the medical field ask me, well, I've got to go do my research. I'm like, what possibly could you need to research? I've got a physician's assistant for 25 years on here, and a neurosurgeon and neuro, scientist here. So what did you guys see when you saw this that could help somebody? Because, everyone's kind of skeptical on this. And, why did you choose to put this into your household like I chose to put it into my household? Go ahead, Laurie.
Well, I did my research as well, but I saw results immediately, and then I probably did my research. My husband is a dietitian, and he was very skeptical of this. He actually went and got blood tested. He has genetic hyperlipidemia, and I never really wanted him on statin medicine because I know all the side effects of it. So we've done natural processes in the past, and he tried this, and in 2 weeks his cholesterol dropped 52 points. I really didn't need much more research than that. My son is off all his allergy medicine. So he was sick from January till March. He's allergic to oak pollen, which is rampant and starting right now. We have not been to the doctor in 3 years for a sinus infection, which is really good because he was on 3 different rounds of nose spray and, allergy medicine as well as antibiotics all the time. So, I tell people to research things. I work in a private practice now, and I don't really promote Pure. I do tell them to go research, look at natural things for pain. I say go look at sulfur, go look at turmeric, go look at different things, because there's other options out there. And people just need to be educated, and, if they have questions, I answer them. But, lay people don't have the PDR, their physician has it. So it's hard to go research it out of that book. But, we have the web, and there's a lot of information on the web as well. So.
Awesome. And Darlene, can you jump on and kind of go through your process of how you decided to partner with Pure?
Yeah, so obviously I went through and looked at all the scientific studies, right? Because that's what I have to do, especially if this is something that I was going to give to myself and my family and then to talk to others about. And I can tell you that research is all very, very solid. Now, obviously, not everybody's going to do that. You know, those scientific studies can be a little complicated, but here's what I'll tell you. Number one, the medical advisory board here is fantastic, right? So they are the ones that are involved in helping with product development. They ensure that these are products that are what we call the most bioavailable, so that your body can use them very well. And they are, as you can see, you know, we've got an anesthesiologist, a general surgeon, pharmacist, dermatologist. You know, it is a fantastic board. So the people that do scientific research on a regular basis are part of Pure, which I think is very, very important. So I will tell you that. The other thing is that very, very soon, probably within the next month, we are going to have a couple of websites up that are going to be directed towards the layperson, and will help to walk you through a little bit of different products in Pure and some of the scientific research behind a lot of the ingredients in there. And I think that's going to be a really helpful resource that is up and running, which should be very, very soon. So, but the other thing, just like Laurie said, you know, I gave these products, I took them myself. And, you know, being a neurosurgeon, sometimes it's hard for me to sleep at night because there's a lot going on up there. And I'll tell you, after about a week of that, that really improved. My son was having behavioral issues at school, and we got him started on Dagoyan, on Mila, and after a couple of months, really noticed some significant improvements in him as well. And I love the fact that there clinical studies on Mila as well for children with ADHD and autism, because I think that that is very, very powerful. So, you know, I think from the research that I've done, from the medical advisory board, and then personal experience with all of this, I would say, you know, that's why I recommend a lot of this, and I think that is why everyone should feel comfortable.
Why is the water over there?
Products.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Darlene. I'm sorry. I'm just muting these people out because I hear all the background noise. There we go. Good. Perfect. That will help. Awesome. Okay. Let's go back to that screen share. We've got two more slides. So this is a website that we have put together, like Darlene mentioned. We are trying to get all the resources out there so that you guys can do your research, so that you can see some, you know, medical studies that we can, and videos that we can go over that we have found and put them into kind of layman's terms. Because if you go through those medical studies, they're very hard to understand if you don't have a medical background. So purelifechangers.com is a resource that we put together that has videos, because the first couple of years that we were all involved with this, we wanted to know why. We wanted to know why that when you combine the organic sulfur and the Mila and the mangosteen, we saw allergies get better. We saw the symptoms get better with it. So we were like, well, why does that happen when you combine those three things? Or, you know, why are we seeing such great improvement in behavior when we give children Mila, or focus when we give them? So, like, why are we seeing all these things? Or why is Laurie's husband's cholesterol dropping 52 points in a short amount of time? Like, why is this happening? So we put together this website, Pure Life Changers, and I know Darlene's putting together some more websites so that we can have this information and get this out to the public. So make sure to go check that out. And then we have an amazing detox program that was released a couple months ago. And I will have to say that I've done the 7-day detox once, and I had tremendous results. And then I just got finished with the 28-day detox, lost 2.5 inches around my waist, which was unbelievable. And I have seen every single weight loss program out there, keto diet, this diet, that diet, over the past 25 years. And I will tell you that this is the most effective program for a multitude of reasons. I have had people that are type 2 diabetics jump on to the 7-day detox, and their blood sugar levels have evened out after just 7 days. It incorporates intermittent fasting. It incorporates a very healthy eating plan. You're not hungry. You have more energy than you know what to do with. And it's simple and very, very effective. So if you are interested in that detox program, please let us know and we can point you in that direction. I am going to go ahead and stop the share right now. And I'm going to ask Ching, if you can come on, unmute yourself, and I'm going to have some people share their experience with what they've seen. So Ching's up in Maryland. She has 3 children, and she was introduced to Pure in September, Ching, right?
Yes, by Doris Stevenson. So I started with Pure, and I have to admit, I was one of those skeptical people, and I said I have to do my research because I didn't believe it. But I was suffering with eczema, and Doris came to me and introduced me to Pure, and I wasn't really a believer, but at that time I already tried like steroid creams and ointments and been to the dermatologist, and nothing really worked for me. So at that point I was kind of just like, you know what, let me try something different, and if it works, great. If not, then I tried it at least. And I have to admit, I really wasn't looking for any results, but within 3 days my skin started to clear up. And I started to give it to my son, who also has eczema, and his skin started to clear, which was like unbelievable because he suffered for eczema like for years. And the other thing that I didn't expect to happen was my son didn't need allergy medicines anymore. To piggyback off of what Laurie said, my son was taking allergy medicines almost every day, every morning with the congestion and everything. He never asked me about, can I get the Zyrtec so I was like, wow, this is really amazing. So I really wasn't giving it too much credit, but that was the only thing we changed. And so my other son is on the spectrum, and he started to do things out of his comfort zone, which is a really big deal for me, because if anyone knows anyone with autism, they're not like, they don't want to do anything different. They want to be in that comfort zone. And he started to eat new foods and go to different places and try different things, which was like amazing. And I shared with Laurie, with Trish, all the different things he's been doing. So I'm not making any claims, but this is just my personal experience of what I've experienced with my family, and it's done like life-changing things for me.
That's awesome. And how this was connected, just so you know, and this is why we share this information, because I shared it with a health coach, a colleague in Maryland, right? And that I've met online. She shared it with Ching, that they work together and at the FDA, right, in DC. So that's how this spreads, and that's how we do this. We just spread information and back and forth. Sorry about the dog, guys. And that's how we do this. So I want Cindy, if you can jump on real quick and share with us what's happened with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to.
Awesome.
I'm very excited about it. I was introduced to Pure about 1.5 years ago, which was really at a very critical time for me to be introduced to it. Some of you already know my background. For those of you that don't, but in my 20s, I spent most of my 20s in and out of cancer clinics. I spent my 21st birthday at MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston because I had an unusual tumor growth that here in Florida, the doctors weren't quite sure what to do with. So between Texas and Florida, Moffitt Cancer Center and Tampa, I spent my entire 20s in and out of these hospitals using experimental drugs and treatments. And fortunately, I was able to come through that. But as a young person going to a nutritionist and then going to Whole Foods to get my fish oil pills and Vitamin World to get a regular vitamin, you know, just trying to pick and choose what I needed and never really having a particular system or something that was very easily accessible for me. So I actually started getting sick again. In 2016, I was in the hospital 4 times. I had to have another surgery for another tumor growth. I had bleeding ulcers. I was constantly going to the doctor for sinus infections. It was just one thing after another with having probably a lower immune system. So when I was introduced to Pure, it was actually the day after I'd gotten out of the hospital, and I started on the system. Trish pretty much just took me by the arm or by the hand and helped guide me with what to take. And it was really not a big change. It wasn't like having to do an extreme diet. It was just very simply incorporating nutrition throughout my day when I would normally eat anyway. And the results were amazing. Within 3 months, I went back for a second endoscopy. My stomach had completely healed, and I had clamps in my stomach from the bleeding ulcers. I was able to come off cholesterol medication, which I had been on probably for 22 years. And also another medication that the cancer clinic had put me on that I thought I would be on forever. So the results for me have been amazing. And I'm super excited to share it with anyone and everyone that I can. It may be for you, it may not be for you, but I have to tell you, I believe it's for everybody. So thank you for having me on tonight.
Thank you, Cindy. And I've got one more. Tanya, can you unmute and come on and share your story? Are you there? Tanya? Maybe not. Is that Tanya? Is that Tanya Vera? It might not be Tanya Vera. So, might not be. Might be another Tanya. I have a Tanya that is a 2-time cancer survivor that I wanted her to share her story, but I don't think that's her. So, I think, Laurie, do you have anything to add, or Darlene, you guys have anything to add?
Not really. Just try it. I mean, it's, you know, the Cleanse, Balance, Build, it's a great system, and it can, one thing I do want to add is that these products are adaptogenic, so they will adapt to your body and your needs. Like, you know, Trish did the 28-day detox, and she doesn't need to lose a lot of weight. And so she didn't lose a lot of weight. She lost a little bit of weight. But, you know, people might want to lose a lot of weight, and it just adapts to their body's needs. So that's one key thing about our products, is that they're adaptogenic. And they're just good. They're just good.
That's awesome. That's a great point to bring up. Darlene, you got anything?
You know, I always like to ask myself a question when I'm making a decision. And that question is always, what if I do this, right? And what's the answer to that? So the question you can ask yourself, you know, you've heard these stories tonight, go do your research. What if you try these products and they make a difference in your life? What would that do for you, right? Because I think you've heard how it's really impacted other people's lives. Or you can choose to not do anything, but then you're always going to ask yourself, what if I don't, right? So that's something that I always, when making a decision, like to ask myself. So I just wanted to share that with everyone.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Well, guys, thank you so much. The guys that shared your stories, and Darlene and Laurie, thank you so much for being on tonight. My only request is that you get back to the person that invited you to this webinar, and that you set up a phone call either with Laurie, myself, or Darlene. We'd be happy to jump on a call, answer additional questions. And then there are several different packages that are more cost effective. There's a detox pack if that's what you want to do, but there's several different packages that are cost effective that when you get on the phone with us, we would be able to direct you on what would be best for your family. So thank you guys so much. I'm going to have the recording of this later so that we can share. And you guys have a great night. Thank you for taking the time.
Thanks, Trish.
Thank you.